You want to kill a deal? Allow someone else to be your salesperson. Stop sending text-based emails. 2 things that you can do today. A, one-to-one video, and B, add a pricing estimator to your website. Create an extraordinary sales culture. The problem is, what we unintentionally do is we're practicing sales on our potential customers instead of practicing sales on ourselves. You gotta be willing to disrupt. I wanna dare you to be different. Different is better than better. You don't have to follow the rules because the rule breakers become the rule makers and everybody else becomes the rule followers. You have to be, in the process of all this technology and AI, need to be more human than everybody's willing to be. There's a million ways that you can do this, and as you become much more video-oriented, that is going to happen naturally. But let me just give you the simplest way. Some of you are doing this, most of you are not, and it's horrendous, and that is one-to-one video. What's your name? Nick? Awesome, Nick. How many emails do you or anybody that's in sales for you send out a month? 75. Okay? How many of those include a video of some type? 0. How many of your competitors are also sending emails out the exact same way you are? Most of them. Are you okay with that? You have this ability to stand out, Nick, and the easiest way you can do it is with one-to-one video in your email. So for example, most emails look just like this. We send a subject line that says following up or touching base or reaching out or checking in. I mean, gee whiz, that's so sexy. And then we say, hey, Jen, I just wanted to follow up from a meeting today. Please let me know if you have any questions. Do you love me? Yes or no? I hope you said yes. On a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being that is a world-class email. 1 being that sucks. What would you give it? A 2. Now, let's be honest. What percentage of the emails and the follow-up emails you send out look like that? What percentage? Do you see what I'm saying? This is crazy. And so instead of that, why wouldn't we send to Jen, hey, Jen, I made this video for you in the subject line, and then Jen sees, do you think Jen is going to watch that? I mean, with a face like that on the screen, you better believe Jen's excited. Now, here's what's crazy to me. Every single one of you has had a one-legger appointment in the last 6 months, have you not? And the worst thing that happens with a one-legger is that you go there, you present, and then that person becomes the messenger and presents to their partner, spouse, loved one. You want to kill a deal? Allow someone else to be your salesperson. Instead of that, why would you not send to Mr. or Mrs. Jones a video after that sales appointment that says, hey, Mr. Jones, I know you got caught up at work today. I talked to Debbie for a while. We had a great conversation. I wanted to cover with you everything that we talked about today briefly so that she didn't have to try to remember it all. What type of impression is Mr. Jones going to have, Scott? He's going to be very impressed. And how many of your competitors are sending out these types of videos? What would happen if, when you're on the job site on the first day, everything's going well, the person's nervous, but they're not there? You send that video that says, hey, Mr. Jones, first day's over. We didn't blow up anything. We're feeling great. How are they going to feel? They're going to love you, and they're going to tell their friends about you. This is the easiest technology in the world to use. And oh, by the way, most of you can do video way quicker than you can type. You talk on average 100 words per minute. Me, I'm a little bit higher. But you, on average, 100 words per minute. You do not type 100 words per minute, I promise you. So these tools, simple, easy, Vidyard, Loom, BombBomb, there's so many now. Stop sending text-based emails. Some of you before this event said to me, Marcus, man, I love the Ask You Answer. Gotta admit, I haven't done as much of it as I should. 2 things that you can do today. A, one-to-one video, because it requires nothing and it saves you time. Just use one of the free tools. And B, add a pricing estimator to your website. That'll change your business in 2024. Just those 2 things. You don't have staff. You don't, quote, have time. All those things. Okay, 2 things that you can immediately do. All right, habit number 5. Create an extraordinary sales culture. I would ask you, do you right now have an extraordinary sales training culture, yes or no? Here's what's so scary to me. Less than 5% of sales reps in the home improvement space do sales training once a week. Raise your hand if you do role play sales training in your organization once a week. And this is the best of the freaking best. And it's maybe 5%. We cannot allow this. And the problem is, here's how this works. What we unintentionally do is we're practicing sales on our potential customers instead of practicing sales on ourselves. Now, let me test this in action. My man, introduce yourself.
I'm Carter.
Carter, what do you sell?
I sell wallpaper and painting services.
Okay, perfect. Now, Carter, I want to do a real role play with you. Hey, Carter, man, I really appreciate this quote that you've given me for wallpaper and everything, and I looked at some of your competitors, and to be honest, you guys just seem so much more expensive than everybody else.
Yeah, we provide a service that's unmatched, and it's mainly because of our back end.
Now, classic mistake. When I said you guys are more expensive, does anyone in this room really know what I mean by expensive? Yes or no? No. Could I mean that you're 5% more? Yes or no? Could I mean that you're 20% more? Could I just be testing you right now, Carter? Yes. And so the response to that is, expensive? Tell me more. Someone says to you, I'm worried about your quote. Worried? Tell me more about that. Do you notice how I say it with a smile, Carter? It's because I've been looking forward to this question all day. Because I'm going to say something to that person with another question that's going to make them explain themselves versus assuming like you did that you understood what I meant by expensive because you had no idea. Now, what's crazy is I could have gone to pretty much anybody in the room other than maybe about 5 of you, and they would have done what Carter did. All right, we're closing up. Habit number 6, you got to be willing to disrupt. So let me give you an example of a disruption. In your industry, there's outdated practices, yes or no? Do they make you annoyed when you see them? They should, because who suffers? Everyone, especially the homeowner, the customer. And so when I got into the swimming pool industry, here's what I noticed. When it came to fiberglass pools, this is what everybody did. They dug a hole and then they put the pool on sand. There's an overdig of about 12 inches and they backfill with sand. There's one problem with that. Sand does what? It settles and it washes. In fact, there's a book that tells us 2,000 years ago, don't build on sand. And so I get here and I'm like, what the bloody H is going on? This is ridiculous. And so I drove a stake in the ground and I said, this is wrong. It's not how it's supposed to be. And we started teaching the industry that instead of sand, you should put crushed stone down. And you should backfill crushed stone because it goes down pretty much already compacted. And so that's not going to wash. And suddenly the entire industry started to change. And I was having pool builders around the country call me and say, hey, Marcus, this is crazy because I have a homeowner that's saying they're requiring me now to use gravel and I use sand. You're messing me up. I said, I'm messing you up. Your low standards are messing you up. You need to raise your bar, brother. When I started in 2001, 80% of all pools, fiberglass, were built on sand. Today, 80% are built on gravel. That's how you change an industry. Now, final one. I'm gonna dare you to be different. My friend Sally Hogshead, she loves this phrase, it's her phrase. She says, different is better than better. I used to not understand this, but then I started to really get at the power of different. Because if you just are willing to think outside the box, case in point, does anybody know this brand? What's inside of that can? Water. But they said the hardest industry to get into really is beverage because you're always fighting for space. So how do we break through? Well, they said the enemy is plastic and we're gonna market it not like it's water. We're gonna market it like it's a energy drink. We're gonna give it a cool name. They have built one of the biggest social media brands in the world and their marketing team is 5 people. And you tell me, I just don't have a big team, Marcus. 5 people. So I'd ask you, could you be like Liquid Death? Could you be different than everyone else? I think you can. You don't have to follow the rules because the rule breakers become the rule makers. And everybody else becomes the rule followers. We broke the rules by saying gravel only, and everybody else has to follow. So you create those new standards in your space.